Hey guys, and welcome back to the finale of Sonic Unleashed. Gonna be hype, guys. Is it gonna be hype? Ooh, we got a load of cutscenes first, though.
So many epic cutscenes.
The hypest Skype call with Professor Pickle.
Oh, yeah. Tails, maybe you should be, like, keeping an eye on the road ahead. You never know when somebody's gonna come along and blast you out of the sky.
Also, I like how the thing here says Professor Laboratory. I didn't know that there was a Professor Laboratory in this game.
I see what you did there.
Funny. Oh look, Tails can't fly. Again. What is that running joke? He's supposed to be smart, and I'm not like Eggman book smart, but legit smart.
I don't know, it's like, at least that one he kind of got hit. It wasn't like in the start of Adventure where it's like, he forgot to put fucking landing gear in the plane. Like, that's kind of one of the biggies. You kind of need to have that, you know?
Fucking love the Egg Dragoon. It is a crying shame that they never did like a model series of like Eggman's mechs and whatnot, because I wanted like the Egg Viper, the Egg Dragoon, I don't know, maybe some of the 2D, Eggomatic designs. Maybe the one like with like the hammer from Aquatic Ruins, so that'd be neat.
Well, wouldn't you also want... what's it called? Is it the Death Egg? No, because... Well, the Death Egg, yes, but...
The Death Egg Robo.
Death Egg Robo, that's the one.
Oh, the Sonic 2 one that they keep reusing.
Yeah, because that would be quite a cool one.
Also, how powerful is that for a prototype? It split open the Earth!
I think what they're going for is that it's powerful but not properly optimised. What's the term where it's not like safety checked and shit? Although the one they use in Generations is meant to be like the final version of that, isn't it?
Yeah, and fair play. It's much more versatile with its attacks and whatnot. And boy, don't you wish you could do that in game?
Yeah. I have to say up front before we get into this boss proper that I prefer both versions of the Unleashed one of this over the Generations fight. I find the Generations one really drags on a little bit, and that says it's welcome.
Yeah, I suppose.
You see, I mean, I think half the problem with the Generations version of the Egg Dragoon fight is that it's changing what was a beat-em-up hack-and-slash style boss, which takes place in an arena, and it's all about dodging attacks and getting attacks in, and it's all quite epic, into a 2D, 3D platformer boss, which has already... There is an issue with making that transition.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they require very different types of mechanics and styles of attack, which then drag away part of what made this fight so awesome originally.
Well, to be fair, they did have to adapt all the bosses in Generations to a certain extent, and
it's true.
Although overall I do find the bosses in Generations are mostly underwhelming, so it was probably just like the approach they took with that.
Well, I don't know, man. I think like the only boss I'd call underwhelming in Generations is unfortunately the final one. Like Silver's good, Metal Sonic's okay, although I've never really been as hyped for the Metal Sonic Racing CD as a lot of people have. It's a good set piece, don't get me wrong, and I love the CD adaptation in Sonic the Comic, the Fleetway thing, but yeah, I like the bosses there, but I think the Werehog. Whoa, Jesus Christ! Look at that fucking lava.
I love the visuals here. This looks so amazing.
I know. Also, just quickly whilst we're on the topic of the Generations bosses, I think it's less an issue of the bosses themselves are underwhelming. More often, the way that the boss fights are finished is underwhelming. Like, I love the Perfect Chaos fight, but it ends so piss poorly that I'm just like, oh, that was a fight.
Yeah, it is a little bit abrupt, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that is also part of the issue, is that frequently the ends of the boss fights don't quite live up to the boss fights themselves, whereas in the Egg Dragoon here, like, the final attack is glorious.
Although, like, I will say, I think Generations bosses are also hurt by inherent comparisons to the original versions of them. Like, Perfect Chaos, it's not a horrible boss in Gens, but compared to how hype the SA1 final boss is, just to see it again and like you're not supersonic and you just got this sort of grey, dull sort of darker take on it, and it's just not quite as exciting as the SA1 version was.
I don't know about that, mate. I think that boss fight is showing its age in SA1. I think the platforming itself is more engaging than boosting across water, spiraling through like a giant Godzilla monster, and just, you know, repeating the process again but with worse music.
Yeah, like, I will say the theme song should have been the other way around. That's kind of my big point of contention with both versions, because like you got what sounds like the initial intimidating kind of, not the most exciting song, but it's got that vibe to it that would work as a phase 1. Like, you know, you've got this new challenge, it's huge, it's a little bit overwhelming compared to Sonic in size.
Yeah.
But then once you've knocked the first few phases out, it's like, you know, I've got this, I can do this, and then it kicks in with that like open your heart riff. That would like be much more engaging than you've had this exciting rock song and now it's like a much calmer orchestral piece.
I like how he rests the cannon on his drill to steady it and whatnot. That's a nice touch.
Also, something else that we haven't actually pointed out is that I'm pretty sure that the Egg Dragoon, while he says that it's a prototype, is actually another version of the mech that he used right at the start of the game.
Oh yeah, so it is.
Which I think is a really nice touch, although it just confused me why he called it a prototype, because it's... Well, perhaps it's the second prototype of the line, and he's still not quite there yet.
Yeah, like second revision or something. Although, given how many of his mechs have very blatant flaws to them, it makes you wonder how many times he does actually revise his own mechs before going live with them.
That was a great fight, by the way, Flame. That definitely deserved an S rank, especially since you didn't look at it explode, which heroes never do.
Yeah, well, cool guys can't look at the explosions, you know.
There you go. Alright, mate, now we can talk, like, strategy and whatnot. Take us through Egg Dragoon HD.
Actually has quite similar phases to the Wii version. Like, there are a few little differences. He's going to come down here, we're going to do the same thing and punching here to sort of trigger his next phase. I do like that in this version I've got the fully powered up punch attack that I can just knock out, like, that's just under a third I think there. But then in this one you get these really cool cinematic effects that are quick time event-y, but I can let this go because this looks amazing.
I mean, I'd say that this is what QuickTime events sort of done right are. It's just like, yes, QuickTime events, they are now out of fashion, rightly so, because they are annoying. And it's just like, if you can do it in gameplay, then that's better. But this is really effective because it is really epic, and you're just like, yeah, I don't even care that I'm pressing buttons. This is just awesome.
It's when you got that sort of thing to soak in alongside the button prompt. That's when it kind of balances out. It's like there's this sort of division in your attention that they kind of balance themselves out. What I don't like are the ones that are like, you know, in the day levels where you get launched off a spring and it's just push this button to not die.
Yes.
That stuff annoys me.
I always find, like, the timing for dodging that really tricky, and Flame, I imagine you feel the same way.
Really? What gave you that hint?
Oh, come on, you're just insulting us with mooks at this point. Not worth my time.
It's like he's got this huge fucking mech that we're clearly taking down with not much difficulty, but let's let the little guys out for a go as well.
Oh, he's just trying to pepper us until we die, really.
Yeah, it's like an endurance test. He'll get tired after hitting all of them, I swear.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not a flawed assumption, because if you throw the big mech and loads of little guys at Sonic at once, then there's every chance that that will overwhelm him on the whole, and actually that would work, because it's one of the biggest flaws in a lot of movie fights. You've got like a massive gang of enemies, and then it's just like, well, if they just all attacked at once, then they wouldn't stand a chance. But they attack one in a row.
It's just fair that way. You know, it's polite.
Yes. But it's like, if you actually wanted to win, then yeah.
Oh, here we go, guys. Grand Egg Dragoon finale. This is so hype.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, now with the other fist, boom!
Oh yeah. This is maybe a little bit overkill. Not the most overkill one, we'll see that later, but still.
Right, Eggman must have been fearing for his fucking life there. That B trigger comes in much quicker than you might expect, by the way.
Team Eggman's blasting off again!
Ding!
Yeah, I do like the Egg Dragoon as a boss. I think it's a lot of fun in both the Wii and the HD version.
For sure, mate, yeah, it's one of my favourite bosses in the Sonic game, honestly. Well, quite easily, actually. If you scroll the footage back, you'll be able to see exactly where you lose.
Oh shit, tentacles.
Ah, jeez. It's the hentai beast.
Yes, I have seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
God, the CGI is so amazing in this cutscene.
I know.
Look at the fucking way his fur's blowing around, it's amazing.
I mean, the fact that this still holds up even now is just insane.
This is like on par with like film quality, really, isn't it? Look at it.
Oh, you really shouldn't have tried to mess with a god, Eggman. When will you learn?
Never. He will never learn.
That profile shot, if you can even call it a profile shot, of Dark Gaia was one of the first things that leaked in regards to Unleashed, and I know because I put it up and got my Top64 account banned because of it.
Oh, that was what caused the ban. I thought it was just that you re-uploaded a trailer and they were just like, no, dead.
Well, there was another video with, like, you know, pictures and stuff in.
Ah.
I will say that on pretty much any of the close-ups of the werehog here, if you just stop it on a screenshot, it will look goofy as fuck, and I love it.
Of course it will.
And I know this is kind of not necessarily the most opportune moment to bring this up, since we're just about to go into a boss fight and stuff is going to happen, but with Dark Gaia sapping away the werehogness from Sonic, so that whole fan theory that somebody brought up on Twitter, the whole thing was that basically Sonic becomes a Dark Gaia monster, which explains the stretchy limbs and all of that sort of stuff. But obviously because he's linked, like obviously Chip's there, Chip prevents him from becoming too affected by Dark Gaia, so he remains normal whilst everything's going on. I think that was the fan theory, and it's the one that I would say there's logic behind it, and I would say that the game supports that theory.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Also, this is so ridiculous but so cool.
Especially the Voltron moment of the game, you know, and Al formed the Temple Head.
Yeah, the Gaia Temple Megazord got this shit.
Why were they built like this to begin with? I don't know, I guess the ancients had really good foresight.
This was like the precursor to Lego.
Basically, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna punch Dark Gaia until he dies. Sonic, you can run about for a bit, okay? Okay.
We got this. Now, this gameplay, they actually do skim over the Light Gaia Colossus section in the Wii version quite a bit. It's recurring in the HD one. But I will say I'm not going to complain about that because it's probably the least fun part of the first phase.
Yes. Well, in the HD version, I feel.
Oh, the travelling section. I thought you were referring to the platforming stuff. That's okay. Yeah, I agree that the travelling bit is monotonous, but we'll get to that after we're done with the Wii version of the fight.
I have to say, I do like that in the Wii version, it's basically Punch-Out, which is just quite awesome.
You got smacked by a temple, how do you feel?
Pretty bad, pretty bad.
Now, we're gonna see, like, very small portions of, like, the rare Wii version cutscenes here, just because the way I'm cutting about, I want to leave in the context, and thought, might as well see how they compare, graphic-wise.
I mean, to be fair, this isn't too hideous in the grand scheme of things.
It's a little bit compressed, and you know, I can see the borders for, like, the subtitles and whatnot. Oh, I love this bit. This is one of my favourite, like, Sonic lines in the game. I am easily impressed!
I do see where you're coming from. I do like it when Sonic goes that little bit meta. It's like the "Welcome to the next level" line from Shadow as well. That stuff like that, I just like that.
Oh, okay. Let's walk us through this part of the final boss fight.
Just dodge these things. It's a little bit slow, and you do have to sort of be a little bit more careful than you might want to be when you're playing as Daytime Sonic, which is a little bit underwhelming, but you know. In this one, you, like a little bit like what I said earlier, you just go through the Gaia Colossus segments, then you go through all the Sonic segments. And it does seem a little bit awkwardly paced the way it just jumps us back here again. But given how repetitive the Colossus sections get in the other version, I'd take it. And yeah, I'm gonna fuck up a QTE there.
Flame!
It feels like they give you less time to react to it than most of the QTEs in the Wii version.
Well, to be fair, this is the finale, mate. You need to bring your A game here.
I don't have an A game, I'm shit at games.
Oh, Jesus, I've only got C grade game, Tom. What the hell?
Yeah, what do you want from me?
I love how Sonic just says fuck you to gravity here. I'm setting up Boom.
What great teeth you have. So I like that they have the 3, 2, 1 countdown, but don't bother showing the 3, 2, 1 in the different phases here. Like, what even is the point?
Chip was just keeping track of it, to be honest.
He's just preoccupied now.
I think the third one of these was my least favourite in any version of Sonic Unleashed, really. It's worse than the HD one, as we'll see shortly, though.
Well, I mean, I'd say part of the whole thing that goes on is that because these sections, I know they're certainly on the HD version, I'm not sure about the Wii version, but they're timed, so they can be quite a challenge because you are chasing things down and you're just like, oh god, time's running out, oh god. I don't know whether it is the case in the Wii version.
No, it's not, thankfully.
I was going to say, it doesn't seem to be.
In the HD version, like, if you take too long, then you'll lose and have to redo that particular part. Thankfully here, they're more lenient with that, they let you take as long as you need.
Oh, thank God, because this looks like one-to-one with the level design in the HD version, and you have to do that, you know, under a very, very strict time limit, and you can imagine how clunky it can be.
When there's things that can just land on you from off screen, and yeah, I don't like being rushed for that sort of shit, you know? I understand the context of why I'm being rushed, but still.
Alright, we've done the platforming, now what? More Punch Out? Oh no, we're going to the HD version now.
Yeah, I'm doing just the standard Dark Gaia stuff, then we'll do both the perfect Dark Gaia phases after this.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the worst part of the standard Dark Gaia sections. 'Cause
Yes.
look at this. This is just like, hold down the boost. You can see already from how many lives I had, I've lost about 8 from having to redo shit. But yeah.
I mean, to be fair, this is challenging because those flaming balls can cause quite a bit of damage, and you have got quite a distance to cover. And yeah, it's just a pain because the timing's really, really odd for actually getting those things destroyed.
A little bit clunky. Well, that seems to be a recurring theme with the Dark Gaia version of the final boss. Perfect Dark Gaia is pretty fun. Not a fan of regular Dark Gaia. He just doesn't have enough spirit to him, I suppose.
Did you just say perfect Dark Gaia is fun?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure I can...
You have a horrendous taste in Sonic games, mate. I can't take you seriously anymore.
Well, you could up to this point.
Yeah.
I would have thought the whole like man crush on Shadow the Hedgehog thing would have put you off, but
Well,
apparently it's more than that.
I didn't take you seriously whenever you brought that up, you know?
Okay, yeah, I was totally joking the whole time, it's okay.
Yeah. What, you were totally jacking the whole time? What the fuck, Flame?
You know what I said.
Okay, so what, now we go... Oh, I'm seeing, like, double cutscenes. 4 cutscenes. Sonic, it's happening again, Sonic!
Now, don't bite the temple. I hear it fucks up your teeth.
Ooh.
He's not going to listen to my advice, is he?
Of course not.
He's distracted, Sonic. You've got a time limit this time, mate. The lighting is better, oh jeez.
What do I do? If I shriek, then I'll be safe.
Time for the big finale.
Again.
The second finale.
Sonic.
Okay, I guess I'll talk this time.
Yes.
Yeah, we do have a time limit, so, you know, try and book it if you don't want to die, and trust me, the time limit is more strict than you might realise at first. I hope you've, you know, mastered sliding under stuff, because they'll ask you to do a lot of that.
They will indeed. And also the thing that I find hilarious is that whenever you fly off the ramps, you don't actually seem to look like you're going to quite make it to his eye, and then suddenly he's right by the eye and going bam, 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 bam.
Oh my
But
god.
you can't have lots of fun, can you? You got to have another one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. They overdid this bit. Like, the reason for being pushed back further makes sense. You know, if I was Dark Gaia, I'd move back a little bit as well. And you don't always have to punch the flaming boulders. You can try and get, you know, in a safe spot, but that's easier said than done, given how friggin' slow the Gaia Colossus is. And, you know, fair play, it's a Gaia Colossus. It's literally made up of stone temples.
I mean, the thing is that basically you can move more quickly when you're not boosting, but that means that you've got to be stationary, which you don't want to be because you want to get to the end. You want to get to the boss so that you can, you know, play the fun bits. So you're just like, well, and then also there's the fact of you can't avoid this attack. You just have to guard against it and slowly dodge out of the way, which immediately means you're going to lose some of your health. And you're just like, really, game? I think what would have been a better solution would have been to just do the punch out from the Wii version in this.
Mm-hmm.
I would have preferred to do 3 rounds of punch out with Dark Gaia than running up to him and then doing a quick time event. I think that would have been much more effective in the long run and would have made this a lot less tedious.
Plus, when you're up this close, like, you can't really see where the gap is, and you also can't see where the closest fire boulder to punch is, so it gets a little bit of game of luck, really, whether you got the right button held down in time.
Yeah, for sure. Do not fail these, by the way, because he will knock you all the way back.
Yes, which is so annoying.
I'm pretty sure you get like 1 or 2 chances, but the 3rd time, you are out, my friend. Come on, give us a kiss.
This is the weirdest OTP I've ever seen.
Sonic, hit Dark Gaia's weak spot.
I know, Chip, I've already done it like 4 times.
You rock.
Chip, you rock for pointing out the fucking obvious. Thank you.
No, he rocks because he's stopping Dark Gaia from attacking, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah. I love if something launched off the ramp and into Dark Gaia's mouth and died.
That would be a pretty dark end to a Sonic game, to be fair.
Yeah, I'll take him out from the inside, hell yeah.
I'm not really sure I want to watch the tentacle monster swallowing Sonic. Like, that seems like a certain other part of the internet where I might see that.
Yeah, one you frequent a lot, eh, Flame?
No comment.
Yeah, anyway, going back to the game. So, Richie, what did you think of, like, Dark Gaia as a whole, mate? We'll be getting to his, like, perfect incarnation soon, but, the base one.
In terms of the boss fight in the HD version, yes, this bit is tedious, and I wasn't the biggest fan in the world. The Sonic stuff I do quite like, but some of it is quite challenging, and because of the time limit, it can be quite finicky. In terms of it from a narrative perspective and a visual design perspective, I do think it's quite cool. Obviously, I know quite a lot of people were annoyed that it was just like, oh look, it's another big, random nature monster thing that's just taken over from Eggman, and now they're the final boss, and that was a trope that everyone was getting a bit sick of at this point. But I was totally fine with it, because, you know, the whole gist of the start of Unleashed is the Eggman blows up the planet to be able to get at this thing, to be able to harness its energy.
Yeah.
And then it's reached the point where it has actually completely awakened now, and it's pissed off, so it's going to lash out and try and attack us. And it's a fascinating design, because you've got all the tentacle things, you've got the multiple mouths. It's kind of a bit goofy to look at, but it is slightly terrifying in its kind of core parts. And I do think that's really awesome for a final boss. He's a lot more effective design-wise than, say, Aflela Walela.
I don't know, I think he's pretty cool, like, design-wise and, you know, powers and such, but what about you, Flame, Dark Gaia?
Honestly, I think this is probably one of the weakest points of the game. I really don't like this final boss, these final bosses, because I suppose it is 2 phases. And it's really underwhelming straight after the Egg Dragoon, which I love. And honestly, this is just so slow and drawn out and not fun.
Well, what about Dark Gaia as, like, an antagonist, then?
As a design, I think he works for what he is. Like, the idea of having, like, this huge, terrifying creature that lives in the centre of the earth, that works. That's, like, a good, intimidating antagonist. but it's just a shame that the gameplay's so bleh.
Yeah, fair enough, mate, fair enough. I know the travelling stuff can get really tedious, but we've got one final running section to do, and this one is extremely tight, time-wise. You best book it to the nth degree here.
Exactly, and also they don't really give you a whole lot of time, well, because you run out of boost quite quickly, and then you're just like, oh god, everything's trying to kill me, and yeah, it's so tight.
I think you very nearly failed there.
Yeah, look, I had less than a second there. What always trips me up are the sections where the path is slightly slanted, because
Yes, yeah.
like Sonic slips, and when you got to jump from one onto the other section, like the physics aren't quite as comfortable to adapt to.
Yeah, you just don't have time to do it. Yeah, you don't have time to adjust. Alright, he's dead. I guess we can go home now.
Ah, as if. We haven't turned into Supersonic yet.
Haha, it was a prank. Got him! Huh. Watching of Kingdom Hearts know where this is going. Meanwhile, the planet.
All worlds begin in darkness, and all so end.
Oh, I loved when Billy Zane played Dark Gaia. I think it's my favourite role.
This actually sort of reminds me a little bit of, you know, the end of the world sequence where you just saw the few people get terrified. It's like the same kind of thing, you know, some power is overwhelming the world.
Yeah, well, time was ripping itself apart there. It's not quite the same.
No, but like the way that it shows it, like the camera cuts and shit. Similar sort of vibe.
Alright, fair enough, fair enough. I didn't mean to shit on your opinion, though.
To be fair, it's actually sort of something that they've done in Sonic a reasonable amount. Well, not a reasonable amount, they've done it like 2 times prior to this, because obviously 06. But they also did it in SA2, because when
yes.
the Ark was crashing, or was it when Gerald's message got shown, that took shots from all around the world. So obviously there's precedent for it, but I think that this is quite effective because obviously most people, perhaps, will have chatted to all of these people from around the world, and so there is a sort of emotional connection with them.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it makes sense to see all of them around the world, because those are essentially the world's citizens. And so it makes sense to see them panicking, because you're just like, oh god, there really is something at stake here, and oh...
Yeah, Resident Evil 8, there you go.
Yes, you did your thing. Well done. Tip and quota.
The joke was originally that if you could actually hear me talking, like, underneath Gareth's really loud laugh, I did say Resident Evil 6, which was not even conceived at the time, I don't think. And it's funny because Sonic would go on to be voiced by Roger Craig Smith, who would also go on to voice Chris Redfield in Resident Evil, 5.
And then obviously voiced him in Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, there you go. Alright lads, Super Sonic, and he has never looked better. You're ready for this? Whatever the fuck that is?
Perfect Dark Gaia.
Well, I know what it's called. It's the concept that frightens me.
Right, I will say I don't particularly care for either version of this boss, but this is the better of the two. What you got to do is you pick up rings. You need to get... Each time you attack him, you will use, I think, 10 rings just to do the darting forward attack. So you want to grind up as many rings as you can get around. Then what I tend to do is go all the way to the left, then take out the eyes one by one, moving over to the right.
Okay.
That's just like the way to not lose track of which ones have been done. These things are bullshit because you get the little warning shot that he's going to do it, but look both how light it is compared to the background and how quickly it passes. So when it gets to the part where there's more shit going on, you see like it's a white thing on a mostly yellow background at times. You can't really dodge that well.
Speaking of having trouble dodging stuff, I remember the asteroids giving me a bit of trouble. We'll deal with that sort of section in the HD one, but it's mostly the transition to the boss itself rather than part of the boss fight.
Yeah.
I will fuck up some of the asteroid parts here just because Supersonic he's directional control, it feels a lot stiffer than it should when he's in this particular mode. And I guess that's kind of working like the falling sections in the HD one, that you can't really move around the screen quite as comfortably as you might like to. And that just means that if you're not lined up... Look at this, by the way.
Yeah, that's just cruel.
Yeah, but like, it just means that it can be quite hard to dodge the asteroids, particularly in the later ones where, you know, they're coming much faster at you and coming in from off the sides of the screen.
Yeah, fuck that, for a start. I don't really have any opinion on this version of Perfect Dark Gaia. Well, except that I like the HD one more, and I find this a little bit obnoxious, mostly because of the asteroids and whatnot. At least when I want to hit the boss in the HD version, I care about worrying about stuff coming from off screen.
Ah. Now, I'd say something that I've always found quite fascinating is that this version obviously has issues with the asteroids and so on and so forth. The issue that we will see with the HD version is that really you don't actually do much attacking the actual boss. And so something that, I can't remember whether it was a friend of mine back in the day, said that what would actually be a very good thing that they could have done is if you merge the first section of Perfect Dark Gaia with the Wii version, and then you end on what the HD version ends on, you end up with a really quite epic boss fight. As it is, you've got two bits that are not necessarily the best, but I would say that, the HD version is still quite fun, and this looks quite fun as well, and also, oh my god, the song. Oh my god, the song!
It's pretty fucking great, and is anyone else put in mind of the Secret Rings final boss when he does like these after image slashes and whatnot? 'Cause I'm pretty sure that's how our Whaler attacks as well.
Thankfully, we don't have the motion controls here, at least not mandatory motion controls. But yeah, it does have quite a similar attack process of you get the little thing that very briefly pops up on screen, then fuck, move somewhere.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure that's how Eraser Jin fought as well.
Yeah. Yes, he did. So there we go. That was the Wii version of Perfect Dark Gaia. Now for the good one.
Nah, I just find this one more irritating than anything, honestly. Like, the first section zooming in like this is actually quite a cool entrance to the boss. Like, granted, you do have to be a little bit careful, but for the most part, you're gonna get plenty of rings just by boosting. It's not that hard to dodge the asteroids coming through here.
Well, it's funny you mentioned being able to get a lot of rings, because the first time I played, I was too busy dodging like boulders or asteroids to even realise there were rings there. So I went in with very few like pips on my health bar, so to speak. And yeah, that's weird. You don't consume rings in this version of Supersonic.
Not really, no. It works in a similar way in that it sort of fills up your time left bar, but it is a bar rather than a countdown. It doesn't really prompt you to look for rings, because like in most final bosses you see the ring counter and it's counting down like that. But now you just got this like non-specific bar saying Supersonic, and it's like, okay.
So yeah, how we take out the HD version of Perfect Dark Gaia is simple. You've got to rush around, find these dragon heads, I guess. You can call them Perfect Dark Gaia heads, I'm sure he won't mind. And you got to do it quickly, because Chip can die, and that can cost you a life, so you want to be careful.
Indeed.
I'm not a fan of all the distracting shit in the background that's going on, and him occasionally shooting lasers at me while I'm like focused on one of the particular heads that I'm trying to knock out.
Well, I'm sorry, but you've got to multitask sometime, mate.
I'm not good at things, though.
Well, but don't ever write reviews, that's all I can say. Richie, what do you think about the HD version of Perfect Dark Gaia?
I do find it really quite enjoyable, and something that I didn't realise at the time, but this is sort of basically Nights into Dreams sort of controls.
Yeah,
which is really quite awesome. And while obviously it's already been documented that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Into Dreams, it is quite cool that it's here, and also even Paraloop, which is glorious.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to get the heads, by the way. Instead of trying to go like up and down and whatnot, just loop around is much like more manageable.
I do just find it really awesome. Obviously it can be quite challenging because the time limit is quite strict, because you've got essentially the Gaia Colossus health bar. Sonic's, like the Supersonic health bar, not really much of a problem. It's the Gaia Colossus health bar that is the biggest worry. And you really do have to book it if you want to get this done in time.
Man, this is going down to the wire, and sometimes getting the heads to come out of the bubble can be a challenge in and of itself, because they will not comply when you want them to.
Yeah, sometimes they just loiter and wait until the guy's already throwing shit at me to then stick his head out, and it's like, well, I'm just gonna plough through it because that's easier than trying to take the safe way round. Because if I take the safe way round, then he'll have gone.
Indeed, there we go, the shield's down, and now it's time to deliver the coup de grace to perfect Dark Gaia. Oh no, he's going after the Temple Gaia!
Tom?
Colossus.
Coup de grace.
Whatever, I don't speak Portuguese, it's time to kill demons.
Oh, I mean, this, well, obviously, it's finishing the final boss with a quick time event. It's so awesome.
It is, yeah.
It's ridiculous, but I think it's really cool.
This final boss, and the way it's destroyed, is worth it if just for one perfect Let's Play moment, and I'll point it out when it happens. You two probably don't watch other like LPs and whatnot, or at least the ones I do. But let me tell you, you're in for a treat when you do eventually get around to it. All right, here we go. You've had to press buttons multiple times to finish off a boss before, but nothing like this. Press X 60 times, motherfucker.
Tom, I take press X 60 times and raise you the wonderful 101. I don't know how many times I had to press that button, but it was glorious.
Oh man, so much power behind that. But yeah, it was the PokeCap in Let's Play of Sonic Unleashed. Not as good as their 06 one, but still pretty decent.
This prompts you to go directly through his hand for some reason, even though that, in theory, should hurt you.
Don't matter, he's dead now. It's in the past.
Indeed, and my god, that would be painful.
Well, he's technically immortal, so even though like he's disintegrating here, he's still gonna reincarnate and whatnot.
Hopefully Sonic's ancestor will be around in like 1,000 years or whatever to sort him out again.
Well, you know.
Ancestor, I think you mean descendant, Flame.
Descendant, that's the one. I'm not good with words, you're the words person.
Yeah, you are the words person. If we ever get something wrong, it's all on your head, mate. Good luck with that.
Yay.
Game over. Here, I'm actually dying. Gotcha. Thanks for putting a full bubble shield on me, by the way. I appreciate that.
Yeah, otherwise landing on pure concrete could have been really fucking painful.
We're rapidly coming to the end of the game now, so, Flame, your opinions of Sonic Unleashed as a whole, both versions, mate.
I will say, I said at the very start, and I still hold this belief, I prefer the Wii version. I find that Sonic Unleashed Wii is a game that is kind of a safe game in a way, though it fills in creatively in parts where the HD one doesn't. Like, that's why I find the Werehog stages that little bit more fun.
Okay.
There are some parts that drag, but I think that they're few and far between, and even the slow parts are still fun. But then, comparing that to the HD one, the HD version of Unleashed is very much a game of extremes. There are times during the day levels where I can be boosting through, like Rooftop Run, you know, Dragon Road Day, things like that, and it's one of the most fun experiences I can have with Sonic. But at the same time, the night stages, particularly when you're on a fresh file and you're underpowered, they are some of the most monotonous experiences I've had with Sonic, and they're the parts that make me just want to turn the game off. So it's because of that, and the fact that there's that tied together with the sort of monotonous medal collecting shit, that is why, as much as there are parts I really like of Unleashed HD, I can't overall say it's one of the games I consider one of the good Sonic games, whereas I can from Unleashed, and that's why I prefer the Wii version.
Okay, I don't agree with you, but it's Richie's turn to talk now, and please make it brief, mate.
I know, Flame took up a lot of time. I would say, having watched it, again, I still feel that Unleashed HD is the better game.
Same.
It's just a lot more fun, in my opinion, and while obviously the Unleashed has got its pros in terms of certain bits of creativity, I just feel that the HD version is much better paced in the grand scheme of things, and also stepping outside of that, I just love Unleashed in general. It's got an amazing story in my mind, arguably the best in terms of tone that the Sonic franchise has ever reached.
For sure.
It's got a phenomenal soundtrack, beautiful visuals, and I will defend it until my dying day. And can I just say that I absolutely adore the final piece of music that we're going to have in the final cutscene, because it's called Always, and it's just so beautiful.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Endless Possibilities by
Well,
bowling for
obviously
fucking
Endless
Super.
Possibilities and Dear My Friend, but like the final cutscene, the music piece is called Always, and it's gorgeous.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Okay, my opinion of Unleashed hasn't really changed much from back in the day. I still really like it. I've mentioned, of course, that the Werehog would have been better if it was just pure platforming. But speaking in terms of both versions, I think the Wii version has better night stages. I think they have better level design, and they just seem more creative. But the day stages are much more engaging and just overall fun in the HD version. If they could have combined the two, I think you would have still had some of the problems present with like the Werehog and whatnot, but as it is, Unleashed is one of my favourite 3D Sonic games. Jank and all, fantastic OST, visuals amazing, although, it's pushing the console, or at least the Sonic team a lot, and the frame rate definitely shows for it, but yeah, I love it. I love Unleashed.
You wanted to just gush over this game one more time, didn't you?
Pretty much, yeah. So what's our next Sonic project, guys? Flame, do you happen to know?
I believe next time we will be going back to 2D Sonic, and we'll be having a little look at Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Mega Drive.
Oh!
Ooh, nice. Okay, well, yeah, that is one of the big 2D games that we haven't covered yet. So, I guess you'll be able to see that in a couple of months or so.
Once Sonic gets his head out of here.
That's our schedule for the year, by the way, a new SonicCom every couple of months, and we're basically going 3D, 2D, 3D, 2D, so there you go.
I thought you meant our new schedule was sticking our heads in the earth looking for something.
Well, that's what I do every day of my life, really.
But you see, it's because we like to bookend things, because we start falling out of the sky and smashing our faces into the ground, and we end falling out of the sky and smashing our faces into the ground.
Indeed.
And we will just continue on that cycle of 2D and 3D Sonic, always.
I guess we'll bookend by doing this as well. I've been Entom64.
I've been Flameclaw.
And I have been X-Gamer Richie.
And this has been Sonic Unleashed, the complete world adventure. We hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you next time for another HellfireComms Sonic commentary. Goodbye for now.
Hey, Sonic! This is my escape. I'm running through this world and I'm not looking back. 'Cause I know I can go where no one's ever gone and I'm not looking back. But how will I know when I get there? And how will I know when to leave? We've all gotta start from somewhere, and it's right there for me. The possibilities are never ending. I see it, and now it's all within my reach. Possibility. I see it now. It's always been inside of me. And now I feel so free. And it's possibility. And so I'll carry on. My time to shine has come. I feel it. As fast as I can go, straight to the top. I know you'll see it. So please wake me up when I get there. It feels like I'm lost in a dream. I know in my heart that it's my time, and I already see the possibilities are never ending. I see it, and now it's all within my reach. Possibility. I see it now. It's always been inside of me. Now I feel so free. And it's possibility. Drop that smile 'cause you're beating again. No, this is where my journey begins. You'll lose your speed. You lose within my reach. I see it now. It's always been inside of me. And now I feel so free. And there's possibility. And there's possibility. And there's possibility. And there's possibility. Good times and bad times, I can count on being with you. I thank you for staying so true. My life will go on a long time, have to catch up when I see you. And you are my reason I can make it through. I will give my word that I will come in time to rescue. My heart will always be with you. I'm so glad I met you, being with me wherever, made for each other forever. I know life can be tough on you, time and time again. Laughter may be gone away. I will wipe away my tears tomorrow. Life must go on, not so easy. Let you travel away. I will be there if you need me, and I know you'll do the same. I can see you, I can hear you in my heart. You will be here if I need you. I will never have to guess, 'cause we are very special friends. So send me a letter, let me know how you're doing. You are my lifetime and true friend. Will never be forgotten. Having trust is all we may need. You are always with me in the life I lead. So far, far away from life I used to know. Worries are too far to. I will stop and close my eyes. Remember, end of the rainbow. I can take you. I will catch it for you. Memories you can recall with me any time of day. You can reach out, you can ask me in your soul. I will answer when you call me. I will come no matter how, 'cause we are very special friends. Just like a river that flows, just like stars in the dark night. Lead me in the storm, lead me in the dark. same. I can see you, I can hear you in my heart. You will be here if I need you. I will never have to guess, 'cause we are very special friends. Memories you can recall with me any time of day. You can reach out, you can ask me in your soul.